This bar is all come in the spirit and power of Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai Bahashem Racha Kodash. Double honors to the Apostle of Great Millstone and to the hopeful light pushes word in truth and sincerity across the four corners of the earth. It's me a quick one, but important one nonetheless. Right? Faith without works is dead. Right? And especially in these times, in these days that we're in, you have to be doing a lot of works if you truly believe, because there's so many things going on. There's so many prophecies popping off, right? So you should be busy working, because like the scripture says, this is not our rest, right? So James 2:17. So I'll read it in the NLT, and I have the KJV and NLT side by side, so you can see the differences. So I'll read from the NLT. So James 2:17. So you see, faith by itself isn't enough. Unless it produces good deeds, it is dead and useless, right? So you have people that always say, oh, I believe, but then these people go and commit adultery. Like, he's like, oh, I believe in the Most High, right? He claims he goes to church, whatever, and then he on during the week he's sleeping with other men's women, right? But he says he believes in the Most High, right? That's what it says. So you see, faith by itself isn't enough unless it produces good deeds. So you have to it has to produce good deeds, right? So good deeds are through actions. Those are good actions, right? Deeds, that's what it is, right? Oh, I did a good deed today. You did a good action today, right? For somebody or something, It is dead and useless, right? Now, I'm going to read to, let's read to 26. Now, someone may argue some people have faith, others have good deeds. But I say, how can you show me your faith if you don't have good deeds? Exactly. 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 Right? I will show you my faith by my good deeds. Exactly. Because someone can say they believe, but then based on their deeds, the question is, like, if their deeds don't match what they believe in, that means they don't believe in what they say they believe in. They believe in something else, right? Or they're not true believers, right? Someone says they believe in the Most High, but then their deeds, they're committing adultery, they're into the alphabet gang, right? And then you don't believe in the Most High. You actually believe in Satan. So you're a liar, right? Verse 19, you say you have faith, for you believe that there is one God. Good for you. Even the demons believe this, and they tremble in terror, right? How foolish. Can't you see that without faith, good deeds is useless? Exactly. Because the thing is, you saying you're doing good deeds, but good deeds based off of what? Based off of Satan? Based off of Buddha? Based off of Islam? Right? Or Allah? Right? Based off of, like, Jesus Christ? What is your good deeds based off of? Right? So that's what you gotta believe. But believe in who? You gotta believe in Yahweh Bahashem Yahushai. You have to have faith in Yahweh Bahashem Yahushai. Right? Verse 21. Don't you remember that our ancestor Abraham was shown to be right with Yahweh by his actions when he offered his son Isaac on the altar? You see, his faith and his actions work together. His actions made his faith complete. Exactly. Because he was a man of the Lord. He says to himself that he believes in the Most High. So when the Most High called him to do something, he did it. Right? He did it. So he was backing up his mentality. He's backing up his faith by the actions or deeds he put forth. Right? And it said, and so it happened, just as the scriptures say, Abraham believed Yahweh, and Yahweh counted him as righteous because of his faith. He was even called the friend of Yahweh. Right? That's a huge title. Be called the friend of the Most High. Wow. So you see, we are shown to be right with Yahweh by what we do, not by faith alone. Exactly. Because I can say I believe, but then there's certain things you're going off, like, You're going out. You're rebellious with your parents. You're abusive with your woman, right? Not physically or mentally or emotionally. You can be abusive in different ways, right? Um, you're a menace in your house, right? You're just a degenerate at work and in your house, right? You're committing adultery, sleeping with other men's women, right? You know, or even like you're going out of your way to talk to other men's women, because even that you're not supposed to be doing, because you're just not supposed to be doing that. That's like someone coming to your car, like it's like just going to your car, maybe looking at your car, rubbing your car, looking at, oh, this looks nice, and then you come and you catch the person looking at your car. Like, what the fuck are you doing? Like, get your, and you catch the guy also sitting on your car. It's like, get the fuck off my car. What the fuck are you doing? Right? So if you truly believe, because you know that those things are wrong, right, based off the law, statute, commandments of Yahweh Bashir Shai, and you have the fear of the Lord, right? You're not going to be doing those things, right? So you have to, because those deeds you're doing are not good deeds. Those are not deeds of someone that believes in the Most High. Those are deeds of someone that believes in Satan, right? That's why it says in verse 24, it says, so you see, we are shown to be right with Yahweh by what we do. Exactly. So if you're doing things that are wrong, you're not being right with Yahweh. You're being wrong with Yahweh, right? So that's why you have to always examine yourself and what you're doing and what you're not doing. You got to examine everything. You can't be lazy with that. And a lot of people are lazy, and a lot of people are afraid of examining themselves because they're afraid of what they're going to see, right? They're afraid of confronting those demons. And, you know, at the end of the day, the longer you hesitate, the longer you run, the longer you hide from doing that thing, it's going to bite you at the end. Sooner or later, all those demons that you keep running away from or keep hiding from are going to come back, and they're going to get you all at once. And you won't be able to handle them because you're weak against them because you don't confront them. So you have no battle experience. You want to think of it like that, because remember, this is still a spiritual war too. You go there, read that in Ephesians 6, I believe, 6 and 10, and it goes in that. You have your armor, your best plate. It's a spiritual war. So you have to have experience in facing these demons. So if you're always running and hiding away from them, but you say you believe in the Most High, and He's telling you to confront these demons, and you're choosing not to do it for whatever weak reason, right? Weak, simpish reason, then at the end of and you think you might have got away because maybe you got away with it and nothing's happening right now. I'm telling you, it will come and it'll get you all at once. Remember, Yahweh Shai doesn't forget anything. He doesn't forget anything. And that's someone He doesn't want anyways. So he's just gonna get rid of somebody like that. Because they don't truly believe. You have to believe that Yahweh Shai is always gonna have your back, no matter what. You have to believe that. Right? You have to believe. Because look at the men. You got Abraham. You got Isaac. You got what happened with Jacob, what he had to go through, right? Joseph, what Joseph had to go through, what Job had to go through, what Yahushua had to go through, what David had to go through, right? What Solomon had to go through, what Gideon had to go through, what Samson had to go through, right? And much more other men, right? What Moses had to go through, what Caleb had to go through, what Joshua had to go through. They believed. They believed that Yahweh Shai is going to always have their back. And the thing is, a lot of them were alone. Majority of not like, I would say like 95% of the time, they were alone. There was always a lot of times they were isolated and on their own. And that's really the big test, is when you're by yourself. It's not when you're around a group of people. It's very easy to say, I believe, when there's a bunch of brothers around. It's very easy. It's easier to say, I believe, when you have a bunch of people around you. It's when you're by yourself. That's a real test of a man. Test of your faith is when you're on your own. Right? And these prophets were on their majority of the time, like I said, and Jonah, right? Majority of the time they're on their own. And that's why their faith was so strong. That's why it was like they can just talk to the Most High. And back then, and the thing is, back then, those ancient times, that was normal to be like men to be on their own and, going on journeys and travel and, become a man. Here in this society, it's the total opposite. Men are afraid to be by themselves. They're just weak. Just fucking weak. It's just weak. It's weak. There's no other way to explain it. It's weak behavior, right? You have to be. You can't be afraid to be by yourself, because then you have to ask yourself why. Maybe you're afraid of dealing with those demons that you have, and that's even worse. So then you're basically afraid of yourself, right? And like I said before, those demons that you run from, people, what do people do, especially, and this is going on a side tangent, but I want to come back to the topic. But people that are usually afraid of themselves, they always run to drugs, they always run to sex, they always run to alcohol. And when I say there's nothing wrong with having sex with a woman, there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with drinking alcohol too. Drugs, I wouldn't say that, right? You can say, you want to say a substitute for drugs, you can say even pain medications, whatever. They run to these things to try and escape reality. And some of these things are actually good things. Like, there's nothing necessarily bad about alcohol. Yes, it is it's registered as a toxin in the body, but in small dosages, it has benefits, like wine, right? Or even like on the other side, sex. Sex is not bad, but all good things can be abused. And what these people do that are afraid of themselves, they're always looking for an outlet to run and hide to, whether it's alcohol, drugs, sex, women, video games, just anything to distract them from reality. But the thing is, you can only run or hide for so long. Eventually, all those things will catch up with you, and they'll hit you all at once. Like that scripture talks about, a little leaven leavens the whole lump. So out of nowhere, you realize that your whole lump is full of leaven. It's too late. You can't fix it. Now you're fucked, right? So go back into my point. The men, the elect, that believe, that have the faith of Yahweh Bashir Shai, they're not going to be afraid of these demons. They're not going to be afraid of these demons. Like, even if when they feel that fear, let's say, because it's going to happen, you're in the flesh. They believe, they have faith that Yahweh Bashir Shai is always with them. Yahweh Bashir Shai always has their back. So over time, because you're not perfect, right? But over time, right, through rehearsing the righteous acts, through making mistakes and getting back up and learning from those mistakes, they'll get to a point where they're not as afraid to be on their own, right? They actually tend to like being on their own now, right? Because they understand, right? It's just like working on the gym. The weights are going to be heavy at first. 50 pounds is going to be heavy when you first start in the gym, but over time, that 50 pounds is not going to feel as heavy. The same thing. So if you truly believe, you're not going to be afraid of confronting demons. You're not going to be afraid of following the law, statute, commandments to the best of your ability. You're not going to be afraid of, examining yourself. You're not going to be really afraid of anything, really. The only person or persons you're going to be afraid of is Yahweh and Yahweh Shai. That's it. Everything else you're not going to be afraid of, because as long as you're being obedient to him, he's always going to have your back, right? He's always going to have your back, always, right? Okay, so back to the scriptures. All right, so we're going to start off, or continue, I should say, at verse, we're going to read all through 26. Verse 25, it says, Rahab the prostitute is another example. She was shown to be right with Yahweh by her actions, when she hid those messengers and sent them safely away by a different road. Right? So it's by your actions. It's by your actions. It goes back to that, you can say a little rant that I just said, but like that individual, right? Or I should say the individual that runs and hides in situations when they should do the right thing, they do the wrong thing, that they just do everything. They always choose to do the wrong thing or the easy thing in uncomfortable situations. But then they say they believe in the Most High, right? A man or woman that truly believes in Yahweh Shem Shai is going to do the right thing no matter what situation they're in, no matter what compromised situation they're in, no matter how uncomfortable it makes them feel, right? no matter how much it hurts for them to do the right thing. They're gonna do it. That's someone who truly believes. Okay, someone who doesn't believe is always gonna look for some excuse to not do the right thing. They're always gonna look and run and hide from doing the right thing. They're always gonna look for an easy way out to do the right thing. They're always gonna do that. And you know what? For a man of the Lord, it's very easy to see someone like that. They can't hide from them. They might not say anything to you, but they're aware. Trust me, they're aware. Right? And people like that are cowards. They're cowards. And those are not people that Yahweh Shai keeps on his army, his spiritual army. Right? You don't want to take. And they talk about that back in the ancient times when there was men. Actually, a law of Israel is like, if you don't want to go to war, you don't go to war. Right? If a man says he doesn't want to go to war, then he doesn't go, because that spirit spreads amongst the other men. That spirit of being a coward, that weak spirit, it spreads. Then all the other men start freaking out. They're like, oh, I don't want to do this. Right? So no, you're right. So it's the same thing with the Most High's army, right? Spiritual army. Because none of us are actually physically fighting anyone. It's a spiritual war, right? So Yahweh Shai is not going to keep a coward on his spiritual army, on his team. He's going to get rid of that person sooner or later. He will get rid of them, right? Right? An individual that always chooses to do the wrong thing because it's convenient for them, because it's easier. They always look for some escape. They always look for some loophole in doing the right thing. And then they tell themselves that they believe in the Most High, but they know there was a way, that there was something that they were supposed to do, but they chose not to do it. Right? For example, I would say let's say you wrong somebody, right? And it's pretty clear that you wronged them. The other person knows that you wronged them. It's obvious to everybody. But then you choose not to apologize. You choose like, oh, okay, I'm just going to pray to the Most High. I'm just going to pray to the Most High and I'm good. See, I'm good. I pray to the Most High. I confess my sins to the Most High. But yeah, you should also be confessing your sins to that person that you wronged. But you don't want to do it because that's hard. It makes you feel uncomfortable, right? I don't want to do that because maybe the person's lesser than you in some way. I don't know what way, but maybe the person's lesser than you. And you seem like you're kind of at a higher position and you feel like you're better than the individual. So it could be also pride too, right? But the point is that because doing the right thing makes you feel uncomfortable, it hurts, you don't want to do it. So you try to do the wrong thing, which is looking for the easy way out. But if someone who truly believes in the Most High, they don't care about that. They're always going to do the right thing no matter how uncomfortable it makes them, right? Because that's actually how you grow, right? Because a humble individual is going to do that. Someone who's prideful is not going to do that. They always have some excuse for why they can't do the right thing, right? Or why they didn't do it that way. They always look for an easy way out and try to. And there's a scripture on that. I just don't remember where it was. I wish I could remember where that scripture was, but basically the person that uses the scriptures to justify their wicked actions, pretty much, like roughly paraphrasing. So any action that they're doing, they'll use certain scriptures to justify it, even though that's not the right understanding of the scriptures, right? So to summarize what I'm saying here is that, if don't be an individual that always just chooses the easy way out in a tough situation, right? Try to change it up. Try to do the hard way. And when I say the hard way, I mean the right way. Because sometimes the easy way out is the right way. But you'll know when it's the right way, you know when it's the wrong way. You'll know, right? If you truly are sincere, you'll know which one's which, right? The majority of the time, because of the society that we're in, this kingdom that we're in, the right way is the hard way. If not all the time, I should say. Because that goes into the straight gate. The straight gate, right? The straight gate's narrow, which is hard. The wide way is a broad. That's easy. It's easy to go. There's so many options, right? That's why it's broad. There's so many options. I can go that way. I can go left. I can go right. I can go southeast. I can go all these directions, right? The narrow way is just north. That's it. One north in a straight line, which is difficult. It's hard. It's uncomfortable, but it's right. Right? And that goes back to what I'm saying. People that don't like uncomfortability, people that don't like to examine themselves, people that don't like to do those things, those are actually the things Yahweh Shai wants you to do, which are all hard and difficult things. But those are the right things to do. So like I said, it's very easy to see when someone's not doing that. When someone always looks for loopholes or tries to hide or run or not be accountable or not be responsible, right? Someone who's usually reckless, right? They don't want to choose the right way. They always want to choose the easy way, which is the wrong way, right? And people like that, Yahweh Shai, eventually he gets rid of them. He will get rid of them. Rather sooner or later, he will get rid of them because someone like that can only stay in the truth for so long. And when he gets rid, and really, I should say this: they were never in the truth. The Most High was just using them for whatever he had to use them for, right? Because the elect are the elect. The elect are going to grow in a positive way, right? They're always going to grow in positivity. They're always going to get stronger over time, right? Now, every a member of the elect has their own speed, but they're always going to grow in strength. They're always going to get stronger. They're always going to become smarter. They're always going to become, their faith is going to increase, not decrease, right? They're going to become more obedient, not more disobedient, right? And the people, and like I said before, the other individual, the Lord's going to get rid of them. He's going to get rid of them sooner or later. It will happen. Because that type of behavior, that cowardly behavior is not, like I said, you can look it up for yourself. In Israel, they had a rule where they didn't bring those men to war. If you didn't want to go to war, you don't go to war. Right? So Yahweh Shai will sift out people like that because this is sifting season. He's going to sift out individuals that are cowards, that always choose the easy way out in every situation. Those are cowards. Those are fucking cowards. I don't care what anyone says. Those are fucking cowards. We're in war, right? You're a prisoner of Yahweh Shai. You're a captive of Yahweh Shai. You don't get to choose the easy way out and think you're going to benefit from that. That's not how it fucking works. And you won't benefit, right? And if you think you're benefiting, that's a delusion or illusion in your mind. It's an illusion. You're not benefiting because other men can see it, right? Other men can see it and Yahweh Shai can see it. So it's only a matter of time. So it goes back to what I said, the point of what we're talking about, faith without works is dead, right? If you truly believe in Yahweh Shai, you're going to apply that hard work. And it's not always physical. It's not always doing the videos. Sometimes it's examining yourself, right? It depends on the individual. Some people have every brother has their own weaknesses. They have things that they're very strong at and they have things that they're very weak at. So you need to work on those things that you're weak at, right? Because faith without works is dead. Right? Work out your salvation with fear and trembling. Right? And to work on those weak things is how you're being obedient. Because it makes you uncomfortable. But it's right. And that's going to make you better. It's going to make you a better servant for your power, Yahweh Shai, by working on those weak things and becoming strong in them. Because then you'll be a better tool for him to use. And therefore he can show more things to you. Right? You don't want to be a spiritual coward. That's actually another lesson title. Spiritual coward. So, last verse of this chapter, just as the body is dead without breath, so also faith is dead without good works. There you go. Right? So those are good works I was talking about the man, the elect man. And then the bad works is the one that's the coward. Those are bad works. Spiritual coward. Right? So nobody wants to be a spiritual coward because spiritual cowards Yahweh Shai doesn't keep spiritual cowards on his team. He doesn't. Those are the ones that fall out. So if you know there's things you're supposed to be doing, there's things you should have done, you got to make up for those. Because remember, Yahweh Shai makes note of everything. Don't think that he forgot. Maybe the individual you wronged or, in whatever situation was might have forgot. Or maybe, who knows? They might have forgot. But Yahweh Shai never forgets. He never forgets. And he knows what you know. And he knows if you knew what the right thing to do in the situation was. He knows. He knows if you're aware of it, because he knows everything that's in your mind because he put it there. So you gotta have fear, man. You gotta fear the power because you don't take him seriously. He doesn't play around. He really does not play around. Jeremiah 17:7. But blessed are those who trust in the Lord, Yahweh Shai, and I have made the Lord Yahweh Shino Shai, their hope and confidence, right? Yeah, so you have to be confident in Yahweh Shino Shai. You have to believe in Yahweh Shino Shai. You have to believe that he always has your back. So when you go and do these uncomfortable things, which are the right thing, right? He's gonna reward you for it because you're gonna get better at that thing. You're gonna become stronger at doing this thing. So it's not gonna be as hard every time you try to do this. Over time, it'll become easier, right? And over time, he can put you in harder situations of that thing. But when you're in these harder situations, it's not gonna feel as hard because you're stronger. Just like that analogy I said, like when you first started for the gym and you try to curl 50 pounds, it's really fucking heavy. But give it 3 months, now it's a little bit easier. This is easier now. 3 months, this is a little bit easier now. I can get some reps here. It's still heavy, but I can get some reps. And give it 6 months, right? And then 8 months, and then over a whole year. Now you're curling that for reps and for sets. Same thing, but it's because you're being obedient to the mission, to the work that need to be done. You know. So I think I got one more. Slack it for all the I guess you can say rambles, but the rambles are important because I am talking about a specific topic because I've seen it too many times. See it all the time in the world, before coming to the truth, and then in the truth, I see it all the time where, especially because I used to play sports, people in sports always like to take shortcuts. They always like to take shortcuts. They don't want to take the straight and narrow path. They want to find a shortcut. And the thing with shortcuts, it always bites you at the end. That's what I always see. It always bites people at the end. They think that they're making a lot of progress because nothing bad's happening, and then boom, everything bad starts to happen all at once. And when it happens all at once, it's not something you can recover from. Right? You're just fucked. This is your judgment. And this judgment is not to make you better, it's just to judge you. Because you chose to take all the shortcuts, you chose not to do the right thing, you chose to be lazy, you chose to be impatient, you chose to be a coward, right? So you chose to try to take loopholes and shortcuts, so this is your judgment now, right? And you can still learn from it, but majority of the time those people don't learn from it because they get prideful and they try to do something else. They double up on the pride. Even though the Lord's trying to humble them, they double up on the pride. And it's just like, oh, well, hey, it is what it is, right? So you need to understand that the Yahweh Shai is not joking around. He's not playing around. He doesn't want any cowards on his army. He's not expecting you to be physically. You're not going to be perfect in the flesh. You're going to make mistakes in the flesh. Certain mistakes you're not going to do. Like committed adultery, you're not going to do that. The elect are not going to commit adultery. The elect are not going to say, I fear the Most High, but I'm going to go sleep with another man's woman. That doesn't make any sense. Not in the truth. In the world, that's a different story. We all did things in the world. But in the truth, the elect are not going to do that. Right? That's just one thing that they're not going to do. Because to commit adultery, there's so many steps that have to happen before you even get to that point. So there's so many red flags and warnings and signs saying stop, turn back, you're going too far, that have to come into your face before you go and commit that act, right? So if you're saying, like I said, we just read, faith without works is dead. If you have the faith of Yahweh Shai Shai, right, you'll be applying good works, right? Even if you end up talking to another man's woman, even let's say that happens, there's going to be warning signs. All these signs are going to appear in front of you. And you're like, I'm not supposed to be doing this. I'm not doing this. You're going to turn back. You're going to repent, right? So there's certain things that the elect are not going to do. They're just not going to do, right? Even Apostle Tahar talks about it all the time in his videos. He even says, like, back in the One West days, he said that every man that committed adultery, they all fell out. Every single one of them. Every single one. He says all the time, the elect are not going to commit adultery. And it makes sense. Why? How could they do that? How can you be one of the elect, but like I'm one of the elect, but I'm going to say I'm going to go sleep with another man's woman, having the knowledge and understanding of the Most High, but I'm going to go do that. How does that make sense? It doesn't, because that's not good works, right? That's bad works. So you can't apply bad works like that. Which bad works, the sentence of that is death, right? So that's not something you want to play with. So let's, if you truly believe, you're going to be very cautious of the power that you're serving, because the power you're serving doesn't fuck around, right? Faith without works is dead. Work out your salvation with fear and trembling, right? Why are you going to work with fear and trembling? It's because of the power you're serving. He'll kill you. He doesn't joke around. Yahweh doesn't joke around, and his son doesn't joke around. Yahweh Shai does not joke around. They said he was an all-steering man. He doesn't play around. He doesn't play around. He does not play around, right? So you got to conduct yourself in that same matter to the best of your ability. But we're not perfect. But like I said, and like the apostles have said, the apostles and the elders and bishops, they said the same thing. The elect are not going to, there's certain things that the elect are not going to do. They're just not going to do that. Even if they're in that situation, it's just not going to happen because you know what? They're going to turn back because they fear their power. they fear Yahweh Shai, right? So Matthew 12 and 50, anyone who does the will of my Father in heaven is my brother and sister and mother as well. See, there you go. I didn't even know. I wasn't even like really looking at it until I just read it. Wow. Exactly. So you want Yahweh Shai to see you as a brother, right? You want him to see you as a brother. So you want to apply good works to the best of your ability. You want to keep always applying good works, right? And you want to be fearful of the bad works. You want to be fearful of them. I'm not saying that you're going to be perfect in them. No. But there's certain bad works that you're not going to do. Like, you're not going to go murder somebody. The elect are not going to murder an individual. They're not going to sit here like planning the death of an individual. Like, I'm going to go do this. And then no, they're not going to murder anyone. Self-defense? Well, because there's a difference between murder and kill. Right? I think killing is when you kill in self-defense. Like, you know, that's in self-defense. That's different. Will elect be one of those situations? I can't really say they can't. They won't. That might happen. But that'll be in self-defense. That's a different story over them sitting there plotting like they're going to kill somebody. The elect are not going to do that. Right? The elect are not going to do that. Just like the elect are not going to commit adultery. They're not going to go sit there and plot to sleep with another man's woman. Because like I said, there's processes before that even happened. You were talking to her. First, you were looking at her. You're staring at her. Then lusting after her. Right? Then you're hanging out with her. You're talking to her. Maybe you give her a hug. Then you guys go out for drinks. You talk to her even some more. Right? Maybe you give her a kiss. Like, there's so many steps that happen before you even got to that point. So that's what I mean. There's so many signs. There's so many indicators, so many red flags telling you to turn back, gone too far, stop. Right? So it doesn't make sense, right? Because if you truly fear Yahweh Shai, you're not going to keep going forward. That doesn't make any sense. You're going to see that red flag that when it pops up in front of you, and you're going to stop and you're going to turn back because you're afraid. So the summary of this lesson, which I did a lot of talking, but you know, it's important. Like, you have to really understand this is not a joke. Don't come into this truth thinking like it's some like fan club where, you know, it's a bunch of guys hanging out. We're talking about how we don't like women and all this stuff. No, that's not what it's about. Right? You're coming to serve Yahweh Shai. You're coming to be a servant of Yahweh Shai. It's very serious. It's very fucking serious. Don't take it as a joke. Don't come here being all reckless and prideful, right? Not wanting to take accountability for your actions like a little fucking child. Don't come in here like that because I'm telling you, you are going to destroy yourself. It's better, like the scripture says, it's better that you didn't know about this truth if you're going to come in here like that. Because you're going to do some stupid shit that you can't take back and you're going to fuck yourself over. You're going to destroy your own soul, right? So, coming here with humility, right? Fear Yahweh Shai, the power, and the Son, Yahweh. You feel the power of Yahweh and fear Yahweh Shai, right? And take your time. Don't rush, right? Have urgency to grow, but also, you know, don't rush in the sense of when you're in trouble. Like the scripture said, as Ecclesiasticus or Sirach, it says, do not hasten in time of trouble and cleave unto the Lord. So when you're in time of trouble, do not rush to make a decision. Do not rush to make an action. Right? Just cleave unto Yahweh Shai. And what it means by that is cleave unto the scriptures. Go into the scriptures. What do you do in the scriptures? Meditate on the scriptures. What should I do in this situation? Right? Maybe ask counsel from one of the elders. Right? That's smarter. Because you're cleaving unto the Lord. They're a servant of the Lord. So you're cleaving unto the Lord. Right? Before you make a decision. So take your time. Slow it down. Right? Be more cautious because you want to be afraid of you want to be afraid of making a bad decision. Right? It's better to be afraid of making a bad decision than not being afraid in the beginning as you first come in. Because you become more cautious, you take your time. You don't want to be rushing full speed when you first come in to make bad decisions. That's a wrong thing to do, because that's too much confidence. That's basically when you're like cocky, right? And someone like that is very hard for them. That's when you become prideful, right? Someone like that's very prideful. They don't want to listen to anybody. They think they have everything figured out. And those are the people that crash the hardest. And those are the people that usually fall out. Actually, not usually. Those are people that do fall out. The ones that are all prideful all the fucking time. They think they have everything figured out. They think that they're better than everybody. Right? So don't be that guy. Okay? So take this very seriously. It's not a joke. It's not a joke. Right? Just come in. And the best thing to do is come in with humility. Come in with humility. Don't come in with pride. Don't come in with arrogance. Don't come in with that haughty spirit. Come in with humility. Don't be prideful in anything. Don't be proud in anything. Don't you, oh, I'm proud in this thing I can do. Don't be proud or prideful in anything that you can do. Right? And examine your thoughts. Examine the things you say. If you catch yourself saying, I'm prideful. I'm very prideful in my ability in going into the history. Right? That's not a good thing. I know it sounds like a good thing, but it's not a good thing. Because pride is not a good thing. That's what people don't understand. You have to really understand the word you're saying. The scriptures, Yahweh Shai specifically says he hates pride. But then you're trying to associate pride as a good thing in some skill that you have. It's not good. Okay? It's not good. Right? Saying I'm confident in my ability to go to understand history and know that's different. Nothing wrong being confident. But saying your pride, you're very prideful in your ability. No, that's bad. But a lot of people are not aware of these things in themselves, these things in their minds, because they don't examine themselves. Right? So you need to fucking examine yourselves. Examine yourself whether you be in this faith. Roughly paraphrasing. Right? Anyways, that's enough that. That's enough talking. Right? Take this very seriously. Take it very seriously. It's not a joke. Especially in the times that we're in. We're almost out of here, but we're actually, a lot of sifting is going to be happening because we're getting closer to the end. More sifting. A lot more sifting is going to happen. Okay? So like Isaiah 33:6 says, wisdom and knowledge should be the stability of thy times, and the fear of the Lord is his treasure. Right? So the fear of the Lord, it comes back to that. So if you fear the Lord, you're going to apply the good works of your faith, not the bad works. Yes, you're going to make mistakes, but the bad works you're going to do, you're going to be very slow to make those bad works, right? You're going to be very slow to make those mistakes. I'm not saying they're not going to happen. Of course they're going to happen, because you're not perfect, and you're not going to be perfect in the flesh. But when you make those bad mistakes, because you're so slow to make those bad mistakes because of your fear of Yahweh Shem Yoshai, you'll sit there and examine why this happened. You sit there and examine how did this happen? What did I do? Okay, I have to figure out why I made this mistake so I don't do this again. And even when you do that, doesn't mean you might not make the mistake again, but it's not going to be as bad as it was before, because you fear the Most High. Because of that fear, it's causing you to sit down and analyze and break down everything you're doing. That's how you become fucking smart, right? That's how you become fucking smart. If you don't know about these top guys, especially in sports, where I used to play sports, and I'm not going to use myself, you can use guys like Kobe, and you hear when he talks, right, about how he breaks down everything. These guys, they're very aware of themselves. They know themselves, right? It's because they're always examining and breaking down everything that they do, bad or good. So you gotta be like that in the truth. You gotta be a professional. Okay, you gotta really take it that far and beyond. Okay. Anyways, that's it on that. I'd like to close out by saying, Kal Hala Yahweh Ba Hashem Yahweh Shai Ba Hashem Racha Kodash. Double honors to the apostles of Great Millstone, and to the hopeful elect push his word and truth and sincerity across the four corners of the earth. Abad Babal, Kwame Yasharala, and Shalom.